Did you see the news? Professor Jordan Peterson of the University of Toronto, the professor who's been fighting so valiantly for free speech and academic freedom and against political correctness, he has had his scholarly funding cut off. His grant application to continue his academic research, it was rejected for the first time in his career. 10 times he's applied, 10 times is being granted. He's a successful professor, beloved by his students, huge popular following, lots of published research. He'd normally be treated like an academic star, but as soon as he was attacked by the forces of political correctness and he refused to submit to them, well, just by coincidence, he was cut off by an anonymous government committee. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Just to be clear, this research money isn't his salary. It's the budget he needs to do his research, to hire graduate students and other out-of-pocket expenses to pursue his scholarship. That's what's being rejected. They've cut off his studies, which just happens to include studying the psychology of political correctness. So I said to Professor Peterson, I said, we can raise the money ourselves. We don't need to depend on the government and their anonymous bureaucrats. I know for a fact that hundreds of thousands of people, millions actually, have watched his videos, read about him in the news, support him. What if everyone chipped in a little bit for his research ourselves? What if we set up a website at www.supportpetersonresearch.com? And he said, sure, let's give it a try.
Thanks, Ezra. I don't know why my research application was rejected. The reviews are anonymous, and all the reasons are not yet in. But it's the first time my funding request has been rejected in 20 years of applications, and I think it's important research. It's basic science, and more rarely has immediate demonstrated public applicability, which is hypothetically one of the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council's mandates. I requested funding to continue research into the fundamentals of personality psychology. My lab published a paper in 2007. Dr. Colin DeYoung was the primary author, that differentiated the standard Big Five personality model into 10 aspects. That's extroversion, neuroticism, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness. We've differentiated each of them into two sub-traits, we call them aspects. And that's become very widely used among scientists, as has the work we've done on creativity. We need to understand everything we can about personality, as it's an important predictor of human behavior. And I want to do the fundamental research properly. We've also been assessing the relationship between personality and political belief, liberal, conservative, and now politically correct. And it's the first time the latter has been investigated scientifically. Those beliefs are having a huge impact on our culture, and we believe it's important to understand them. Finally, we've been producing online interventions, such as the self-authoring suite. You can see that at selfauthoring.com. And that's helped thousands of students get better grades and stay in school. We've raised the grade point average of students 25% and dropped their dropout rate by about 20%. And that's been especially useful for men and also for non-Western ethnic minority students. And we want to continue the basic research upon which such programs depend. I should note too that none of this research money goes to me, none of it. It doesn't supplement my salary, it doesn't pay any of my personal expenses. It's pretty much all spent on the salary and tuition of my 3 graduate students, and I have 3 excellent graduate students, and helps me support a part-time postdoctoral student. The remainder pays research subjects, with a bit left over for travel. We're supposed to present the results of our research at scientific conferences. We spend a little bit on computer equipment. It's bare bones funding, and my lab is very efficient in its spending. So the rejection of my grant application primarily hurts my students, as well as bringing the research effectively to a halt. So I'd like to try to crowdfund it. I think that would be interesting. For people who support my work, who've watched my videos or listened to my podcasts, or for anyone interested in the research that I'm doing, I guess I could invite you to join us and be part of it. Doing so would also help me learn whether that sort of funding for scientists is possible, because I've already been contacted by others whose research was curtailed for what appear to be political reasons. So if it can be done for me, perhaps it could be done on a more permanent basis for others. It'd be interesting to investigate that and see if it's possible. My application was for a 5-year grant, but it's less daunting if we do it 1 year at a time. Anyways, you can see, anyone interested can see my full proposal and a shorter summary of it beneath this video, and also at supportpetersonresearch.com. Back to you, Ezra.
Thanks, Professor Peterson. I'll chip in the first $100. It's the least I can do in the name of free speech and academic freedom. Now, if that's too much for you, well, please consider $10. If you can do more than $100, please do. Anyone who contributes $100 will get access to an exclusive thank you video from Professor Peterson just for $100 donors. And anyone who contributes $250 will be invited to a reception where he and his students will discuss his progress. And if you contribute $1,000, you'll get all of the above, as well as a bound copy of the finished research, personally autographed by him. So let's do this. Go to supportpetersonresearch.com. We'll send all of the net proceeds directly to Professor Peterson, specifically for this research project. Let's show the university and the government panel that rejected this project that Canadians believe in Professor Peterson and his research, and we're not willing to let him or his work be silenced. Let's show Canada and the world that our universities are still free. Go to supportpetersonresearch.com and let's help a great professor and scholar complete his work. Thank you.